Welcome, race fans, to the high banks of Bristol Motor Speedway, the last great coliseum, for tonight's Underdog Racing League Showdown presented by Wild Bill's Soda. This legendary half-mile bull ring is set to host 240 laps of chaos, skill, and determination as drivers fight for every inch of pavement with just 3 races left before the playoffs. Last week's drama is still fresh on everybody's minds, or could be new to some of you. Jason Fensler crossed the line first, but after disqualification, it was Dylan Walterman who walked away with the win and his ticket to the playoffs. Walterman now joins Jason Bottoms, Will Young, Jason Seams, Nick Gardner, and Dylan Zampa as the drivers locked in to the championship chase. For the rest of the field, the pressure is mounting. The battle for the bubble is where the fireworks begin tonight. Dakota Bly sits 31 points above the cut line, with Jason Bottoms 23 points ahead and Noah Tansman just 22 points clear. Below the line starts with Cody Dorsey 22 points behind, then David Chapman Jr. and Eric Riley facing a steeper climb, sitting 48 points out each. Just a handful of races left. Each stage point and every finishing position counts now more than ever. Bristol, though, is a beast of its own. These cars are notoriously loose tonight, and drivers will have to handle them with precision and patience. With stage breaks at laps 75 and 150, potential for many cautions is high as tempers flare and tight quarters leave little room for error. Fuel will not be an issue, though. These cars can go 115 laps on a tank, but keeping the car intact for 240 laps of Bristol madness is a challenge of its own. This is also the last race before the holiday break, so you can bet every driver will be looking to head into the 2-week hiatus with momentum, whether it's by locking themselves into the playoffs or staking their claim as a serious contender. The last great Coliseum is ready for battle, and so are we. Get ready, because the Underdog Racing League is about to unleash the action at Bristol. With that, let's get into our Custom Inc. starting lineup. Normally we'd start up front with Dylan Zampa and Jason Fensler. They're your front row. They're not loaded in yet, so we'll go back to row 2, led by Nick Gardner starting on the inside. Jason Seams outside. Ryan Seams will be the inside of row 3. To his outside is Noah Tansman. He's right on that playoff bubble. He'll start 6th in the 66. 7th will be Corey Hassler. He'll be driving the 25. 7th is Derek Riley in the 17. Sorry about that. Starting 9th is Dylan Walterman in the 16th. 10th is Matthew Young in the 13. 11th will be Kirk Cairns. 12th, Austin Gustafson. 13th will be Scott Milner. 14th, Scott Kerberg. Battle of the Scots back there, 13 and 14th. 15th will be the 82 of Nick Seams. To his outside, 29, Jake Williams. Starting 17th will be Cody Dorsey in the 9. 18th, Will Young in the 68. 19th will be Stephen Horner driving the 11. 20th, Marshall Wilson in the number 85 Toyota Supra. 21st, Dakota Bly in the 58. He's right on that bubble as well to his outside teammate, Jason Bottoms. But it looks like we've got 3 starting from the pits tonight. Weren't able to get a lap down. Justin Stannard, Evan Logue, and Justin Schenk. We'll go back up front. Dylan Zampa, your pole sitter. Ready to go. But 240 laps of exciting Bristol action ready to go tonight. And as we inch toward the playoffs, every one of these stage points, playoff points, they add up quick. I've posted the standings in the link below, or in the comments below, so hopefully you guys are able to see that. And yeah, we are ready to go green. Shortest track on our schedule. And, you know, that can breed cautions, that can breed chaos. who is going to be able to survive all 240 of these laps at the end. It'll be Zampa on the inside, Fensler on the outside. We've seen this many times before this season, and we're getting ready for it again. Zampa, Fensler, lead us to the green flag. Zampa gets a great launch. Fensler laid back a little bit, and he will be clear in for second place. First battle is Jason Seams, Nick Gardner. That battle's for third. Seams clears, and here comes Ryan Seams in the 83 to the outside of Nick Gardner. It's the first battle on the racetrack. And I think we're going to see a lot of cars spread out tonight. While it is a very short track, I think guys are going to be very patient, try to give each other room when possible. And I think it should lead to some great racing. Can run the bottom, can run the top, can even run the middle here. Whichever way you feel the most comfortable about, it's going to be the way most of these drivers go about it. First 9, or first 8, I'd say, have broken away from the pack as a car is upside down. Justin Shank just flew through the air on lap 6. This caution is presented by Admin Box. Well, let's see what happened. Shank all alone here, just gave it a little too much wheel. Spun it around. Everybody tried to avoid him. Netcode flips him up in the air. Derek Riley with a spectacular move to avoid him. And everybody else goes on through. Take a look at it one more time. Let's go off the nose of the 83 of Ryan Seams. Let's go on board, actually, and see what he sees. Because with it being such a short track and these corners being tight, it can be a little bit of a blind spot. He sees the smoke there, tries to get out of the way, gets into the wall a little bit, and then the caution comes out. But heavy damage to the 71 machine of Shank, who had to start from the pits. You can see that car turned all the way to the right, and it's turning left, so that's not what you want to see. Looking like a car tomorrow driving down into his pit stall. He makes it there safely, and we have our first Admin Box caution of the night. And that's what's going to be kind of on the minds of many of these drivers is, on entry, can they prevent the car from just kind of giving out from under you? And that's what's going to happen a lot of times tonight. If you just give it a little too much wheel, that thing will spin right around, and you will put us under the caution flag. And I think we're going to get some long green flag runs here. Bristol hasn't been really a problem track for this league before. There's certainly been times where there's been 2 or 3 or 4 cautions in quick succession, but in the races I've ran here, I remember many long green flag runs, and it kind of takes a beating on you when you got to turn that car about every 3 or 4 seconds. 240 times, multiply that by 2. You're turning that car 480 times in about an hour and a half, 2 hours. It's such an interesting track because you're in the corners just about as much as you're down the straightaway. Straights are short, the corners are high banked, but we're ready to go green again. Zampa Fensler, green flag is out. These restarts are going to be key for these drivers. If you're a little bit deeper in the field that you could work your way through on restarts, you're going to have a huge advantage over a lot of the other drivers in the field. Jason Seams, Ryan Seams, this is the battle for third. Nick Gardner, Corey Hassler, they're getting into it a little bit back there. Hassler all over the back bumper of Nick Gardner. Corey going to dive it to the inside of the Napa Auto Parts machine, and he's going to get loose. Can he save it? Great save from Hassler there. Gathers it back up. And we stay green. Caution out again. I believe we might have the same culprit. Yes, we do. Justin Shank. We'll watch his full lap here. Riding around behind Dakota Bly here. Already 2 laps down at this point. Just trying to log some laps, and gave her a little too much. Got in the wall and destroyed. His fast repair was already used on that first caution, and yeah, he's going to need to tow back to the pit lane. Now, I don't know if that'll be race ending this early on in the race, but you know, it's certainly race altering. So caution number 2 of the night. But everybody other than Justin Shank has been able to keep it relatively clean, at least from what I've seen. And I'm not going to fault these drivers for making mistakes like Justin did there. I hopped in, test drove it for a few laps. I thought, you know, this ain't all that easy. And hopped out and got ready for the broadcast. So, yeah, car's hard to drive tonight. Certainly going to be the expectation for all these drivers, and such a high-banked, narrow track as well. It's a tough one. If you're not a NASCAR fan or really familiar with Bristol Motor Speedway, it's such an interesting track. The laps tick by so quickly. About 14, 15 seconds a lap. You're completing almost 6. If my math serves... Nope, that would be 4. 4 laps a minute. It's crazy. Thank you guys for tuning in. This will be a lot like Charlotte, I think. Another long race during the regular season that we've got here. And tonight, even though it's a short track, I don't think it'll be any different. If we ran the entire thing green, it would be 59 minutes. And I can promise you that will not be the case. Zampa picks the top for this restart here, and it'll be Zampa to the outside, Fensler to the inside, and Zampa gets a great launch again. And we'll see if picking the top is something that starts to become a trend, because as you see here, Ryan seems... He was 4th on that restart, but since he was up top, that's been the preferred line. He's going to have a shot at going and taking 2nd away from Jason Fensler. Fensler got a win taken away from him last night for a commitment cone violation. If that happens, you are moved to the tail end of the longest line. That happened to him. He lost his victory. And going forward, that's not going to be something that happens again. We've had it happen twice. Once to Tyler Merritt early in the season and once to Jason Fensler here. And I think the admins are realizing that while we want to have as many real-life rules as we can, in iRacing, that just doesn't really come into effect ever. And we're going to be changing that to... Oh, Corey Hassler. Hassler around. He's parked it on the bottom. No caution yet. We're going to stay with Corey here. We'll see if him backing up brings out a caution or not. No, we will stay green. Thank you, iRacing. Great call. He was out of the way of everybody, was able to reverse it relatively safely, and we're back racing. But as I was saying about Fensler and the commitment cone rule, it is something that at this point, if it happens, it will be a penalty for the next race. So maybe you'll start at the tail of the field, I believe, is the rule. And then in the playoffs, it's just going to be gone completely. So a little bit of a change in the rule book. But while Fensler is certainly affected, loses a race win and the playoff points that come with it, it's not like the driver of the 15 is exactly starving for playoff points or wins at this point in the season. But right now, second, third, and fourth running very close together. Let's go off the nose of Jason Fensler. So everybody tries to run the high line. In the races we've ran in the past here, it's been a lot of the low line, but those were in the next-gen cars. In the Xfinity car, a lot of drivers here opting to run up top. Dakota Bly becoming the second driver to go a lap down. Corey Hassler was the first after his little spin there. And Bly just making sure he gets out of the way there. Already almost halfway through stage one. Stage break is at lap 75. And this is the difficult part about this racetrack. How do you get around the guy in front of you without just moving him out of the way? It's going to be something that these drivers have to grapple with and figure out all night. This is the closest racing on the track. So they put Steven Horner a lap down. Seams, and Fensler. With Ryan Seams in second, Jason Fensler in fourth. Jason Seams in the middle is just a combination of both their names. Interesting. I wonder if Jason Seams there in the 81 is just kind of riding around, not wanting to push his brother too much here, but maybe he just really can't get by him. Let's take a look at two of the biggest movers so far early in this race. 68 of Will Young, he's up 10 spots up to 8th. And then the 5 of Jason Bottoms started near the back. He's up 10 spots to 12th. And of course, right when I go away, Jason Fensler has an issue. Let's find him, and that is a huge issue. Let's take a look at what happened. You saw it there. We're going to go back the entire lap previous. He's following Jason Seams right here. And this is just a mistake by Jason Fensler. Something you rarely see out of him. And as that car goes up the track, I'm surprised there's no caution. We're going to stay green. And we'll catch up now. He has to come down pit road. That may be his race over. Catastrophe for the driver of the 15 right there. As he pulls into his pit stall there, he'll be able to use his fast repair, get out relatively quickly, but, I mean, the damage is done. He's already 2 laps down, looking to maybe go 3. Believe he's changing tires under that stop. So yeah, he'll be 3 laps down early on in this race. Let's go back to the 66 of Tansman. He's getting chased down by Derek Riley and Curtis Cairns. Noah just above the playoff cut line. Needs all the stage points he can get here. And thank you to Derek Riley, throwing on a Christmas scheme here. One of the only guys that has one, and it looks great. As he goes by Noah Tansman there, Kirk Cairns looking to do the same. Looks like there's a big battle pretty deep in the field. This is Cody Dorsey, Marshall Wilson, side by side. This all is the battle for 14th, starting with Scott Milner up there in the 31. Wilson gets into the wall there. And now Stenard working on Scott Milner. A lot of slow cars, and Justin Stenard just runs into the side of Jason Bottoms there, and we've got a caution. I was a little... I don't even, like, right now I don't even know what to say. That was such a weird incident. Let's just go on board with Stenard here. So he sees that was Jason Fensler spinning and Justin Stenard. You just can't do that. While there haven't been cautions called, I mean, you can't do that. He's one of our admins. He's supposed to be setting an example. And every week we talk ARCA brake, ARCA brake. You gotta slow up for these cautions. And he opts to try to split it 3 wide by Jason Bottoms. And he gets him involved, Cody Dorsey involved. Those are 2 guys right on the playoff bubble right there. Now let's go back a lap and see what happened to Jason Fensler to bring this out in the first place. So it's even Jason Bottoms a little farther in front. He and Dylan Walterman make contact. This stems a while back. Tansman gets into the wall. Seams gets into Bottoms. Walterman gets into him. Fensler's trying to get around the outside. And then Stenard tries to go 3 wide bottom. What an epic chain reaction. I mean, I don't even know how that's even possible. But that's going to put us under the yellow flag. A lot of damage to race cars. And one of them being Jason Fensler. Now 7 laps down. Pulled into his pit box. That might be the night for the driver of the 15. We'll see. But now he could just be repairing damage. We'll stay with him because we might as well. I think this cam will give us a look at his damage, and yes, it does. Yeah, he's just going to be on pit road there. So Zampa's still your leader. We are already 1 lap to green. None of the top 14 came down pit road right there. I believe Evan Logue will be your free pass if he was a lap down before. But yeah, things happen so quickly here at Bristol. Even the cautions. We're already back to racing. And Zampa gets a great launch. And away we go. I'm going to bring up that caution. It's presented by Admin Box. There was so much going on there. I wasn't even able to bring up our newest sponsor, but thank you, Admin Box, for being our caution sponsor. Their link is in the description below. Will Young, Nick Gardner, side by side. Will Young continuing his march through the field. Now Will needs to show some patience here. Just kidding, he's going to go to the inside. Caution is out for Marshall Wilson, it looks like, and a bunch of others. Oh no. Let's go back, take a look. So he barely tags Nick Seams. Dorsey into him. And then everybody else just trying to get out of the way. Dakota Bly gets blown up by Evan Logue. Stephen Horner spun around, and we are under our 4th admin box yellow. Now I'm going to try to keep track of the cautions tonight, but you guys may have to help me out. So we'll go back and take another look. It's Wilson into Seams. Dorsey, he's going to have some more damage on the front of that thing. Corey Hassler gets involved. Stephen Horner's just trying to avoid it, isn't able to, and yellow, 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 caution is out. For some of these drivers, their goal tonight is just to survive, not be one of the drivers that has to end this race and be knocked out. Even Jason Fensler, he's 11 laps down right now. I don't know if it's crazy to say he could get back on the lead lap. I mean, that's just the way it goes here. But while we're under yellow, let's go hear from our new sponsor, Admin Box. Thank you, Admin Box, for being our sponsor. And, you know, they picked a great week. Well, last week. But good for them to be on board before the Bristol race. Because, yeah, this is often going to be a race full of cautions. But we've got Zampa picking the outside again. Ryan Seams will be inside. Nick Gardner will be outside, effectively third, just with the way these restarts go. And then Will Young will be inside row 2. I always say the position I don't want to be on a restart is right behind the driver in second place. That's where Will Young is right now, and you see there is why. He loses a spot to Gardner, and Gardner may be on the way to getting second from Ryan Seams. Seams was clear for a second, it looked like, in the entry of the corner. Clear now. And Gardner had the run up top, but wasn't able to do anything with it. Caution is out. I don't know why. Evan Logue going down pit road. Might have been Marshall Wilson. This car looks clean. Let's do previous crash, see if it tells us. It's taking us to Marshall Wilson. Oh, it is him. He spins, and I guess that is a caution. I mean, I said he spins, but I don't know. He more slid than anything there. I don't know. According to iRacing, that's a caution. In this league, we do not call our own cautions. We have iRacing control that, so there's no complaints, anything like that, to our admin team. And right there, little half slide brings out a caution. Now, if you're chasing Fensler or Corey Hassler, you're like, how is that a caution and not what they went through earlier? Yeah, that's put Fensler 11 laps down at this point, and Corey Hassler just got his lap back. So I believe that is admin box caution 6 of the night. I think we had 2 in a row there after I said it was the 4th. So creeping up on the end of stage 1. And I think you saw that we could have long runs there. It is certainly possible. It's just, can we keep the cautions away for long enough to where we can kind of wear the tires a little bit, see if we can get some comers and goers. But with the way it is right now, cautions are breeding cautions at a very fast rate. Ready to go 1 to green one more time. Zampa outside your race leader has led every lap so far in this race. Ryan Seams to the inside. Then it's Will Young, Nick Gardner, Austin Gustafson up 7 spots. Kurt Cairns up 5. Jake Williams up 9 spots. A lot of shuffling around early on in this race. Zampa has had good practice on these restarts. Gets another good one there. Will Young, Ryan Seams, side by side for second. Young is up 16 spots from the start of this race. And he's looking for one more. Both these front two drivers locked into the playoffs, but still trying to get as many points as they can. And someone like Ryan Seams, if he can get up here, get a race win, I don't know if he's ran enough races to lock him into the playoffs, but he could certainly race his way in on points as we've got another caution on the speedway. I believe this is for Jason Bottoms. We'll go take a look. Bottoms just a little too much wheel on entry, overcorrected, decimated the front end of Cody Dorsey, and everybody else trying to check up behind was not able to. Let's take a look at it one more time from Marshall Wilson's view. Oh, Marshall just spun it out on his own as well. And everybody else trying to avoid. Nick Seams does a good job checking up in time, but 2 separate spins in the same corner brings out caution number 7. You know, I might as well leave the admin box logo up there if we're going to have all these cautions. I don't know. Now, I don't know if this will be officially stage 1. Jason Seams is the only driver to come down pit road, so I wouldn't expect it to be. I think everybody would have came down if it was the end of the stage. Evan Logue gonna drop to the rear. See his multiple laps down. Let's see, some of these lap down guys, I think, they should come down pit road right here. And maybe they'll be able to take the wave around under the stage brake. But they may be able to do that anyway. A lot of damage to Cody Dorsey. Marshall Wilson, they're both on pit road. Cody's going to try to fix that thing up, get it back out there, but I mean, it's just been the season of hell for Cody Dorsey. Unlucky just about every way, every track possible. I don't think any of these incidents tonight were his fault. Just kind of the wrong place, wrong time. We've got Zampa, Young, Seams, and Gustafson moves up into the top 4. And Jason Seams did not come down on this pit. He came down on lap 57, so apologies about that. He's just working his way back up through the field. Green flag is out. So we've got 3 laps to go till the end of stage 1. Zampa clear out front. Ryan Seams, Austin Gustafson battle for 3rd. And Jason Seams on fresh tires here. We'll see how much those play a factor. Jason getting to the outside of his brother for 4th. Coming to the white flag of stage 1, and the caution is out. That'll be the stage. This time it's Scott Kerberg. Spun around in another Christmas scheme. Well, that one's a little more anti-Christmas than anything. But that'll be the end of stage 1. Dylan Zampa, Will Young, Austin Gustafson, Jason Seams, Ryan Seams, Nick Gardner, Jake Williams Sr., Kurt Cairns, Noah Tansman, and Derek Riley are your stage point getters. Now I do expect some pit road activity here. We'll go take a look, and then after that we'll try to take a look at what brought out the caution there. Everybody in and out relatively safely. Let's go take a look at what brought out the caution from Scott Kerberg's point of view. Scott riding the low line. Evan Logue hits off the top, spins him out, gets into Stannard as well. And that is a admin box yellow flag. We'll catch up live. We've got some movement up front. Dylan Zampa, no longer your race leader. Couple guys deciding to stay out, flip the stage. Matthew Young, Scott Milner, Nick Seams. Some drivers just trying to grab some track position. It's hard to get it here. Hard to pass, and especially with all these cautions, that's going to be the best way to do it. So you saw Jason Fensler there. He was trying to get the wave around. Not able to do it. And have to stay 11 laps down. Nick Seams going to opt to take the top. Scott Milner to the inside, and I think this will be a fun restart here. So Nick Seams outside in the 82 is your race leader, ready to take us to the green flag. Here we go. He went late in the box there, maybe on the green flag, and that is stacked up everybody. Caution out immediately. So, yeah, we're going to have to take a look at that again. I think people were ready for Seams to go there. And it just did not happen. So I believe it starts right here with Nick Gardner. Tag. Caution is out. So, lap 81. Another caution out. Stephen Horner coming to get his laps back. Going to be down to 1 lap down for the driver of the 11. Now, this is where the frustration sets in for these drivers. They know that these cautions are obviously not what they want. But when it kind of starts to set in that all these laps are going to be cautions, they try to race harder. They're not in a groove from racing for the past probably 50 or 60 laps. Almost all of them have been under caution, so you just go into the corner blind just about every one of these restarts, and you keep bringing out cautions. So Seams will choose the top again. Scott Milner keeps his track position. He'll stay inside row 1. It'll be Dylan Walterman, Dylan Zampa, Austin Gustafson, your top 5. So this race is going to turn into a strategy race, it looks like. Hopefully you pit at the right time and get all the cautions to help you out. But Seems ready to lead us to the green flag again. We are underway. He goes late in the box again. Everybody's ready for it this time. And Scott Milner, side by side to the inside. He'll take the race lead. Scott Milner may be trying to lead his first laps of the season. Dylan Zampa trying to take his lead back. Side by side all the way up front here. Zampa takes the lead. Gustafson tries to go through to second. He's got it. So at this point, Scott's just got to try to keep the track position the best he can. He knows he wasn't running up front earlier, but if he can hold these guys off for a number of laps, at least till a caution comes out. And he may be the caution. Slides back up. Hard into the wall. Ryan Seems into the wall. Kurt Cairns, no caution yet. Cairns is just about stopped on the racetrack. No control over his car, but we stay green. The 72 machine is just sitting on the inside down the back stretch. Ryan Seems having to go down pit road. Cairns has officially towed, it looks like. And now Dylan Zampa is your race leader. I mean, this race is going to produce some wild results, I think. We've already got 4 drivers out of the race. 3 cars, 20 or more laps down. I mean, Jason Fencer could get a top 10. He's 11 laps down. Here's Will Young, Dylan Walterman in the battle for 4th. Austin Gustafson has got a rocket ship on that machine. He's trying to get up there. He just set his fastest lap of the race. Gonna try to get on by Dylan Zampa. Yeah, remember, all these cautions are iRacing determined. It is up to the simulation to determine who, or when the cautions come out. And we've had some questionable calls already from iRacing. I mean, we had Marshall Wilson take a little bit of a slide. He threw the yellow for that, and we had about 3 cars stopped on the racetrack. Nothing for that. I mean, I see Ryan Seems upset in the Discord right now. He has every right to be. Now, he can't really be mad at anybody on our admin team. It's not their fault, but yeah. The way this is set up right now is there's a driver in the top 10 that is 2 laps down. Sometimes you'll see that at a short track when the race is almost over and it's been a long green flag run, but we've had a number of cautions tonight, and that's still the case. But right now, cautions be damned. Dylan Zampa, Austin Gustafson, they are flying around, battling for the lead. Nicholas Seams just set his fastest lap of the race in third. We'll see if he becomes part of this fight. Throughout stage one, it looked like Zampa was kind of the car to beat. Nobody really brought a fight to him as Gustafson makes a crazy save off of turn 4. Right now, he's just going to slot in behind Zampa and then go back to the bottom. Scott Milner slowing everybody up. Where does Zampa go? Scott's just right in the middle of the track. They can't get around him. And now Zampa goes low. Gustafson will follow. And again, that should bring Nick Seams back into the fight. Here's Nick Gardner 2 laps down. He must have had an incident of his own. Some heavy hitters way down the running order. Jason Seams locked in the playoffs, 17th. 17 laps down. Jason Fensler, 15th, 11 laps down. Cody Dorsey right on the playoff bubble. Jason Bottoms right on the playoff bubble. They're both many laps down. Bottoms out of the race. It's just about getting your car to the end at this point. You can be multiple laps down and you can still get a good finish in this thing. 8th place Scott Kerberg is 1 lap down right now. So all these guys need to be on their toes and just make sure they stay on the lead lap. Or at least stay in a lucky dog position, because they could lock themselves into the playoffs with a win. Gustafson staying right with Zampa here. Zampa's picked it up a little bit once they've got through the lap traffic, but in a few laps they'll catch Dakota Bly, Kirk Cairns, Derek Riley, Stephen Horner again, and then it'll be right back to where they were. Nick Gardner's up here. He's 2 laps down. He's trying to get one of his laps back the hard way. Dakota Bly going another lap down. Gustafson maybe tagged the wall a little bit there. That's going to allow Gardner to go by. And then Nick Gardner going to go try to get his lap back. Nick was only down pit road for 18 seconds, so wouldn't expect him to have fresher tires than Zampa here, but he's running well. See if he's able to get on by. It's going to be so hard for him to get his lap back through a free pass or something like that, because so many drivers keep going laps down. So he's got to do it by passing the race leader, and he is getting ever closer each and every lap. Stage 2 is out at lap 150. So we're approaching that relatively quickly here. So Zampa is catching the tail end of the lead lap cars. Jake Williams, Noah Tansman. Both of those guys going to try to stay on the lead lap. And those guys are going to fight for their lap. So I think right there is where Nick Gardner, he's going to have to go by make the pass, get his lap back. Or one of his laps back. See, Tansman there already. Just a second up the road. And a second is not very far here at Bristol. Side by side here. And Gardner gets his lap back. Zampa kind of just let him go there. He knows he's the race leader while he would like to keep Gardner a lap down because he's a fast car. At some point, you just got to let him go. Pick and choose the battles you're going to fight. Now Gardner trying to get by Tansman. Zampa will get by Tansman. And now Tansman will be your lucky dog. Jake Williams next one, 1.5 seconds up the road. If Jake goes a lap down, we'll be down to 5 lead lap cars here. Now this lap traffic's pretty heavy here. Gardner, Riley, Williams, Bly, all kind of setting up a roadblock for Zampa. We'll see how he manages it. Let's go on board. Bly just got out of the way. Gardner sent it 3 wide there, it looked like. Now he's going to be trying to put Jake Williams a lap down. Side by side with Williams, and now clear. They see Austin Gustafson lurking there. A little bit better last lap, but not able to get up there just yet. Dylan Walterman was actually the fastest on track that last lap, he and Nick Gardner. So, Walterman running 5th, Gardner running 9th. I'll keep you updated when we get close to the stage as it's changed to the amount of laps to go as we're over halfway. Now we'll see if Nick Gardner, he's going to kind of be the guy to watch again. See if he's able to get up and maybe pass Jake Williams and be the free pass once we get to the stage break. He's maybe the fastest car on the track, so we'll see if he can do it. And I thought once the field kind of got thinned out, we'd have some green flag laps here and some green flag runs. And we certainly have. We're going to go back to Jake Williams. Nope, that's not where the battle is. With all these guys laps down, usually I rely on the intervals to tell me where the battles are on the track. But this right here, this is not a battle for position. Derek Riley is 4 laps down. Jake Williams just 1. So we'll go to Nicholas Seams as he tries to chase down Austin Gustafson, who was setting a blistering pace early on in the run here. But ever since then, it's kind of faded as he gets into the wall there. Maybe dealing with a tight race car. Corey Hassler down on the apron there. Maybe had an issue. Now is a good time of it as ever, though, to crank it up. Let you get a feel for these drivers around the bull ring of Bristol. And we had trouble there. Corey Hassler, Austin Gustafson. Gustafson was able to save it. But that was already after he lost the spot to Nicholas Seams. And talk to you about Jason Bottoms. Not a whole lot to talk about. 23rd out of the race. Just multiple incidents early on, and his race is over. But coming up with 8 laps to go in stage 2. Down to 5 cars on the lead lap. Dylan Walterman is the last one of those. Trying to hold on as he goes through a hornet's nest right here. And what we were watching, Nick Gardner. He's got a shot. He's about a straightaway behind Jake Williams for the free pass here, but he might run out of time. And again, he's got Dylan Zampa right on his back bumper, so really what he's got to worry about is going back to 2 laps down. We'll show you Jake in a second here. He's around Walterman, Fensler, Riley. These guys are all racing very hard. Take a look, I think. Yeah, Nick Gardner just went back to 2 laps down. I think he was running so hard trying to get by Dylan Zampa that kind of towards the end of the run here, came back to bite him. So 3 to go in stage 2. It has been all Dylan Zampa. Nicholas Seams runs second, 3 seconds behind. Austin Gustafson runs third, 7 seconds back. Will Young fourth, 7.5. Dylan Walterman 11 seconds back in 5th. And after that, everybody else is at least 1 lap down. So Zampa trying to go for the perfect race. Won stage 1, on his way to winning stage 2. And all he's got left to pick up is the race win. He's lamented in the times we've talked to him about how many times he's finished second this season. Everything is pointing to a Dylan Zampa win right now as he collects the stage 2 victory. And it'll take a bit for them to throw the yellow. Actually, they're going to throw it right away because 10th position is 4 laps down. But usually we wait for the top 10 to cross the line. But Zampa is your stage winner, followed by Nick Seams, Will Young, Austin Gustafson, Dylan Walterman, Jake Williams, Nick Gardner, Scott Kerberg, Noah Tansman, and Derek Riley are your stage point receivers. Derek Riley, 4 laps down, getting a stage point. I love it. So we'll see pit stops here. They will be kind of anticlimactic because only 5 guys are going to come down on the first wave here, but we'll see. So I'm going to keep this on pit road for you guys. I'm going to take a quick break and then be back for the green flag. I have returned, and you guys would know better than me, but it looks like we had some drama off pit road here. Already one lap to green, and it's going to be Dylan Walterman who will assume the lead of the race. My break, cracking open a Wild Bill's soda, and we are ready to go green. No, we're not. Said we were one to go, but with nobody being to the inside of Dylan Walterman, I don't think we were quite ready. So now we are getting ready to go green after the admin box yellow flag. That'll be Walterman outside, your race leader, Will Young inside. Nick Seams, Dylan Zampa, Austin Gustafson. They are your top 5 and the drivers on the lead lap. No free pass for Jake Williams. All the lap down cars have to be on the bottom, so restart looks a little different there, but has the same effect. Walterman leads us, trying to go back to back after he picked up the win last week, albeit through a disqualification, but he is the official race winner. Will Young got into the wall a little bit there. He's going to cede the position to Dylan Zampa. Hey, here's Jason Fensler. 11 laps down, up to 13th. I think he's trying to get up here, have some fun racing. Let's go to the gyro cam as we watch Dylan Zampa try to chase down Dylan Walterman. Walterman said his fastest lap of the race right there. Unfortunately, Dylan Zampa's lap was still faster. Walterman with a spin. And we're going to stay green, it looks like. I guess that was more of a slide than anything. We'll go back and take a look at it under the regular TV angle. Yeah, just slid it a little bit. Kind of got corrected there from Zampa. A little bit of net code bounced him back. But we stay green. Just kidding. Caution is out. We'll try to find out what for. We see 13 of Matthew Young slow down low. We'll go try to see what happened. It is Corey Hassler. He's around. Just gave it a little too much, spun around, and brings out a caution. So if you're Ryan Seams, you're like, why is that a yellow and not what happened earlier? I think I've got an explanation. He was spun fully around there, and the ones we've seen earlier, all the cars have been pointed straight. iRacing goes off of not only your location on the track, your speed, but also the direction your car's pointed. So we spun it around, and we'll catch you back up live. Dylan Walterman going to come down pit road to fix his damage. Nick Gardner is now one lap down. I'm going to see if we can take a look at what happened to Nick under this caution. So he was back there with Austin Gustafson on the restart and ended up... Or he was already a lap down. Never mind. Sorry, folks. For some reason, I had imagined him getting his lap back, but no. So 4 drivers on the lead lap here. Nick Gardner just got his lap back. One of his laps back, so now he's 1 lap down. If another caution comes out, he'll be able to be back on the lead lap, have a shot at the win. This is an admin box yellow flag. Their link, as well as all of our wonderful sponsors, are in the description below. Something different, we've got the standings in the chat below. I wasn't able to put it in the description, but if you scroll all the way up top, there should be the race standings if you want to take a look at those. But green flag ready to go out, and here we go. Zampa leads. Young, Walterman, Gustafson, they all chase. So just 73 laps to go for at any normal track. That seems like an eternity, but here at Bristol, that'll go by in an instant. So Will Young, he's been all around the track, all around the standings today. Up 16 spots from where he started. Trying to get the race lead away from Dylan Zampa. Austin Gustafson, he's been very good on the short run. We'll see what he can do. Just kidding. Caution's out. And it was Corey Hassler again. And yeah, Corey Hassler just spun around, and that looks to be the end of his night. And Corey, I'm glad you're out here racing with us, but 52 laps down. Nobody will pass you at all here. At some point, you just got to pull the plug. So we'll go back live, and it'll be Zampa, Young, Gustafson, and Nick Gardner got the caution he was looking for. But as we await the green flag, let's hear from our presenting sponsor of every Underdog Racing League race, Wild Bill's Soda.
You're looking mighty thirsty. Wild Bill's, pure cane sugar, old-fashioned sodas.
So next time by, we will get the 1 to go. And with Nick Gardner getting the free pass there, that moves Scott Kerberg into the next free pass position. You see a lot of these guys coming down pit road just about every time to, for the most part, fix their damage. You see the right rear damage on the Grinch machine. But that seems to be getting fixed up. He's ready to go. So we're up to 5 cars on the lead lap. Corey Hassler has revealed he's broke his headset. It's unfortunate. Dylan Zampa's away. 66 to go. Austin Gustafson, Dylan Walterman there side by side for third. I mean, up front, the racing has actually been really good. well, we only have 5 cars on the lead lap. The guys who have been there have raced hard. They've raced clean. And I think we're about to see 64 more laps of it. Everybody on the track right now, I feel confident. They will not bring out a caution spinning on their own. Unless, I'd say most likely, it's going to be the front 4 on the lead lap. Because they're racing the hardest. Everybody else, at this point, they're just trying to get to the end of the race. Gustafson flies on by Young there. And now the chase is on to go get Dylan Zampa. And I think the best shot for a lot of these guys is run hard right now. Try to pressure the one of Zampa and hope for a caution later in the race where you can come down and put on tires, because Zampa has been dominant on the long run tonight. The 2 long runs we've had, he has just been blistering and ran away from the field. Now, if he can keep it close, and then he gets a caution to come out, or maybe go take the lead and a caution comes out, he'll be right back in this thing. So Dylan Walterman, I'm going to guess he's got some damage to that machine still from his contact a little earlier. You see it on the rear there. But that is not the camera I was going for. Sorry about that. Yeah, that thing is slowing him down. He definitely had enough speed early in this race. And throughout stage 2, he looked plenty fast, but I think that hard hit with the wall is kind of just taking him out. So Walterman fades. It's a battle between he and Nick Gardner for 5th. Battle for 2nd is between Will Young and Austin Gustafson. Young backed off quite a bit early on in this run. Kind of just let Gustafson go. And at this point, we'll see if he can run him back down. And Jason Fensler, much respect to Jason. He's been 11 laps down this entire race. Was about 24th at one point. He's worked his way all the way up to 12th just by running the laps. Now, the incident that caused his ultimate demise was his fault. He just got loose and wasn't able to control it, but ever since then he's been logging laps and taking care of his race car, and that's going to net him at least 10 extra points. Nick Gardner got by Dylan Walterman back there. They are about 9 seconds off the pace each. And Gustafson is closing on Dylan Zampa. We saw this last run, but it was a little earlier that Gustafson was chasing him down. Now we're a little deeper into the run, and he's still going to get him, so it'll be something to watch. Ooh, contact with the wall there. Very marginal, but did slow him down a little bit for Gustafson there. He's got 0.8 seconds up the road to the race leader, Zampa. 0.5 to Will Young behind. Gustafson joined this league in kind of the middle of the running, and he's been a consistent performer ever since he's joined. Looking to notch up, I believe, his first top 3, and we'll get to talk to him after the race. Gustafson maybe got the wall again there. Just trying his hardest to run down Dylan Zampa. And I think that's where Zampa has the advantage. He can just manage the gap behind. He does not need to overdrive his car until those guys behind him get real close, and they haven't been able to do that yet. We may have a little battle between Will Young and Austin Gustafson in a moment. Jason Fensler being respectful, not going by Will Young or Gustafson here. I would assume he's got the faster car, but he knows he's 11 laps down. They had a couple of blips in the chat there. I think they were both talking to each other, so I think that was just Fensler letting him know he's just waiting around. So 38 laps to go. And it's all Dylan Zampa. At this point, just hoping no cautions come out. And he's got a shot at putting down both Dylan Walterman and Nick Gardner, both 1 lap down, and just making it a 3-horse race. Young looking to the inside of Austin Gustafson. Gustafson, slight contact with the wall there. Now side by side for second. Now Austin's going to have that run off the top just about every time. So how will Will Young counter and make his move? Gustafson in the wall again. And at a certain point, it will start to hurt his car, but he moves down here. He's not trying to get into the wall, I don't think, as he does it again. Will Young almost follows him in there. And I think that's the one that's going to give Austin some damage there. Both these guys racing each other clean. I know they just want to get to the end of this thing as well. But we can talk about points a little bit here. Dakota Bly, one of those drivers right on the bubble. He's been able to hang around enough this race. He's going to pick up, it looks like an 11th place finish unless Jason Fensler can go on by him. And he's 8th in the points. That might move him. Won't move him up to 7th, but it'll give him a little buffer over Jason Bottoms, Noah Tansman, and Cody Dorsey, who all have DNF'd from this race. Young looking to the inside again. Maybe a little contact. No, Young moves on by. He's up to 2nd. And now we're going to go up to Dylan Zampa as he's trying to put down Nick Gardner. And Gardner just let him by there. And I would assume it's going to happen the same with the other two. So we'll go back to the battle for 2nd. Derek Riley going to pick up some much-needed points. It may move him into a playoff spot, actually. 4 laps down, but tonight that nets you an 8th place finish. Could be as high as 7th or 6th, depending on if he can get by Scott Kerberg and Jake Williams. Kurt Cairns, another driver, finishing all the laps tonight. Scott Kerberg as well. both those guys gonna inch up closer to the playoff cut line. I mean, just a disastrous finish for Cody Dorsey, Jason Bottoms, 22nd and 23rd. Not the way they wanted their Bristol to go. Noah Tanz and another bubble driver. He'll end up, I think that was 16th there. 15th, one spot better. And we're down now to just 13 cars running in this race as Fensler goes by Will Young. Nothing to report on our leader Dylan Zampa, up to a 6-second lead. Only thing that could stop him from winning this race is either a mistake himself or a caution. Thank you guys all for sticking it out with us tonight. Started out a little rocky, but you know, once you kind of thin the field out, get some of the problem causers out of the race, you've had a pretty decent race. Unfortunately, we've had a lot of drivers have to go laps down just because of the damage they've had, and they haven't really been able to fight for this race win, but Dylan Zampa looking to put Dylan Walterman a lap down. As I was saying, I mean, we've had a very long run here. Had a long run in Stage 1 and Stage 2 as well. Just a couple moments where we got one caution and it led into many others. Now, it would be big for Zampa to put Walterman a lap down here. But Walterman needs to stay on the lead lap if he wants to win this race. Now, you look at him right now, he's 14 seconds back. You'd say he has no shot. But if a caution comes out, he'll be put right behind the bumper of Dylan Zampa because he's running fourth. So he's going to fight here, even if it makes Zampa a little frustrated. Goes hard into the wall there, and that might be it. He goes one lap down, and, well, he'll still get the free pass if a caution comes out. He'll be at the end of the longest line, so he'll back off there, and it'll be all Dylan Zampa with 12 laps to go. Let's go on board. Just the dominant car all night, Dylan Zampa. And looking like he's on the way to a very well-deserved win. And he's had races where he's been up front, first or second, dominated a lot of these races, but he's finally been able to break through and get the win. Been fast all season, missed a couple races, still is way up in the point standings. He's third right now, and he's ran 4 less races than Jason Fensler and 3 less than Nick Gardner, who were the 2 in front of him. An impressive season all around for the driver of the 1, Dylan Zampa, and gonna pick up some playoff points, and this would be the perfect race for Dylan. Won stage 1, won stage 2, and now looking to win, ultimately, stage 3 in the race. And he might put Austin Gustafson a lap down before the end of this thing. That would be impressive. If he can lap all the way up to 3rd place, would be insane. I don't know if he's got a shot at Will Young. He's almost a full straightaway ahead, and well, Will is definitely backed off the pace. No real reason to push right now, but I think he's not going to be able to go get him. I'll shout out some names here. Jake Williams, 6th. Great run for him. Scott Kerberg has to pull it down here. Hopefully, for him, that's not going to lose a spot to Kurt Cairns. It may, though. But speaking of Scott and Kurt, 8th and 9th, able to run clean all night. Derek Riley, 7th. Austin Gustafson, very, very good run in 3rd. Will Young up 16 spots, tonight's biggest mover. And here's Zampa all over Gustafson. White flag is out, 1 to go for Dylan Zampa. And he is going to lap Austin Gustafson. And yeah, just tip of the cap to Dylan Zampa. Dominant performance, and he'll be tonight's winner at Bristol. Leading, I would guess, over 200 of the 240 laps tonight. What a dominating performance for Dylan and the driver of the 1. 13 drivers finished this thing. Lastly, Matthew Young, 32 laps down, but I'd shout out to him. He was able to put it all together and then ultimately ended up almost with a top 10 finish. But Dylan Zampa is going to burn it down. Don't leave just yet, though. We've got driver interviews for the top 3. Can't wait to hear from him. Zampa is burning it down. I think this is the first time he's been able to all season. He has a win, but it came after a disqualification from Tyler Merritt. But Will Young's here. Let's go hear from our 2nd place driver. Hey, Will, you got me?
I got you. How's it going?
It is certainly going. 240 laps down the drain. How was that for you out there?
I mean, yeah, it was a long one, but, I mean, to be honest, nothing much happened after stage 1 ended, really. So, it was kind of just turning laps and, just having a bit of fun.
Yeah, and you were one of the 2 cars that finished on the lead lap. With all those cautions earlier in the race, how do you kind of play the strategy and kind of avoid all the carnage so you can get a lead lap finish at the end?
Yeah, I mean, I got pretty lucky through that whole race, and I was happy I made my way. I mean, I started pretty far back after a pretty terrible qualifying run, but I made my way up pretty quickly, which definitely helped a lot. And then I kind of just being in the front, you weren't really with a lot of the wreckers, so.
Yeah, and we finished with 13 drivers. What's it like during that last stage and kind of towards the end of stage 2, just kind of driving through all that lap traffic there?
Yeah, it wasn't terrible. I mean, no one was really being aggressive at that point. We all just wanted to finish, really. So, and luckily, like, once I got past Austin, I was in kind of my own little bubble, so it's not like I needed to get through them really quickly. So I guess I was kind of just, chilling out, getting through them as safely as I could.
Yeah. I know you always got some guys to thank before I send you on out of here, but yeah.
Yeah, just want to thank Wild Bills for being on the car. Glad to put it back onto a podium. Yeah, thanks for interviewing me.
Yeah. Happy 2 weeks off. Happy holidays to you, and we'll see you in 3 weeks at, I believe they changed the track on us, so I don't know officially where we're at, but we'll see you then, Will. Good race.
All right. Yeah. See ya.
That was second place, Will Young. Let's go grab third place, Austin Gustafson. Hey, Austin, you got me?
Yes, sir. I got you.
Well, that was certainly one of the races of all time. You come home third, a lap down, but, I mean, how did you do that, man?
I mean, I started 12th. Just had to survive the whole race. There's heavy amount of cautions, but tire wear was super important. I just had to stay out of the cautions, and towards the end, I tried to get the one to push himself a little bit harder. Maybe his tire wear would go up, but I couldn't get it. But I wore my tires out a good bit and fell out quite a bit. But yeah, just got to survive in the end. That was the key to staying up front.
Yeah, and talking about surviving, you were one of the few that were able to do it. How did you do it, getting through 25 cars there and not really getting involved in anything too major?
I was just trying to be super aware. I was never really pushing for a position. I was, backing my corners up, waiting to see if people would make mistakes. Fortunately, a lot of people, spun it coming off the corner, and I was far enough back where I could kind of drive off and not get into them. But yeah, just staying super cautious and backing the corners up for the first, 2/3 of the race. But towards the end, I started using them up because I was racing for the win. Yeah,
definitely. Podium finish for you tonight, though. Great race, and 2 weeks off. Happy holidays, and we'll see you,
yes, sir,
I guess, in 3 weeks then, Austin. Good race tonight.
Yes, sir. You too. Appreciate it. See you.
That was Austin Gustafson, your third-place driver. Let's go grab Dylan Zampa, race winner. Hey, Dylan, you got me?
Yeah, I got you.
Talking to you as a race winner officially tonight. And how did you do it, man?
Yeah, I mean, obviously it sucks to see Jason go out early, self-spin, and, sucks to see him go out early. I knew he was going to be fast, but, man, it just feels good to finally get that actual win, the one that I actually felt like I was going to be really good at the whole time. Looking at the schedule, I was like, man, Bristol, I can't wait till we go there. And, man, the long run speed I had was just phenomenal, man. This car was on rails, and I was able to keep that right front under me the whole time, even being pressured by the 18, and Will was pressuring me a little bit too, but I just knew that as long as I could stay out front and hold them behind me, I knew I was gonna just prevail on the long run speed.
Yeah, and Gustafson said in his interview that he was trying to push you when he's kind of all over you and even tried to pass you. How do you keep your wits about you and not overdrive your car?
So early in the run when he started peaking low, like I had to kind of push it a little bit because the roll speed on the bottom with new tires is really good. So, but he stayed down there for about 10-15 laps, and by lap 10 I actually started to save while he was on the inside because the outside line just kind of prevails on older tires. So I knew if I could just keep him down there, I would wear his stuff out, and so that's kind of what happened in that second stage. And going into the third stage, I knew I just needed to get out front and just kind of do the same thing. Just anybody who wanted to pass me, just put them on the bottom and wear their right sides out, and I'll be saving mine up at the top. So, and that's what we did, and finally came away with a win, and just super excited, and just looking forward to the next one, even though we have a 2-week break. But it feels good to get that win before the 2-week break, and just kind of reset and take this one and celebrate and go into Christmas with it and all that stuff. So
yeah, absolutely. I mean, we got the 2-week break, and yeah, we'll be off for those. Happy holidays to you, Dylan, and we'll see you in 3 weeks at wherever they changed the schedule to, but I think they changed it on us. Congrats on the win, man.
Thank you.
We will see you in 3 weeks. That is Dylan Zampa, your race winner, a dominant race win. 2 cars finished on the lead lap. Maybe a URL record. We saw that a couple times back in the IndyCar series we had, but as far as the NASCAR series go, that might be the first time. But thank you guys for joining me tonight, off for 2 weeks, and I guess for you guys, it'll be a surprise where we are in 3 weeks after the holidays. But happy holidays to all you guys. Thank you for watching, and